The female Titan finally emerges in my review of Attack on Titan, Episode 17. Hell yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is the stuff that I like. This was an immediate 10 out of 10 episode. I could tell from the first couple of minutes. This was human versus Titan, Titan versus human, human-Titan hybrid versus human. It was insane. This was the type of stuff I've been waiting for. We have finally made our ways out of these giant walled cities, and we are making it into the world of Attack on Titan. And now I can finally understand why a lot of our characters are completely freaked out and shitting their pants over these creatures. Because when you see them out in the open, they're 20 times more terrifying. I'm really not kidding. I mean, fighting these things in the city is completely different than fighting them in an open pasture. At least in a city, you have a lot of, things you can hide behind. Here, these things got you down pat. They will fuck you up. So the episode actually opens up with Eren and Captain Levi and the entire squad making their way through this giant decrepit city, taking out a few Titans as they're making their way along, and this is where we get to see all of the different parts of this giant formation. I think this is great because a lot of the times in animes they always do these like giant maps that they'll just slap on the screen and put the faces of the characters all over the place. But they actually went the extra mile here, and they actually did this really dynamic camera shot where they go around the different parts of this giant field where you get to see all the different members of the Recon Corps are all over the place doing their specific job. And I like how they took the time to go over to each individual one. And it also made the entire world just seem a little bit bigger just in that scene right there. They're really covering a lot of ground. And during this scene, we're finally getting a lot of frickin' action here. We get to learn a little bit more about some different types of Titans as well. We also get to learn a little bit more about like some of the rules when they're in formation. So like if they see a Titan out in the open, they fire this flare into the air. But every once in a while there's going to be a Titan that just appears out of nowhere. They can't really do much about it. And unfortunately it's Sasha Blouse who gets the bad luck this week. And she's up against this one Titan that just appears out of nowhere behind this house. This scene is really, really intense because like I said, when you finally get to see them move out into the open, it's terrifying. This thing is moving on all fours. It's very spider-like, and it's moving so fast, and a lot of that probably has to do with the animation, which just makes it seem all the more dynamic. Luckily, Sasha is saved by a few fellow soldiers who managed to trick this thing into running into a tree, and then all of a sudden we're introduced to another brand new type of Titan we've never seen before, which they call aberrant Titans, which aberrant just means it's different from the standard, so essentially it's like just a different type of Titan we've never seen before. I like to call them Berserker Titans because their role is to just essentially run towards the center or the most like important part of a group of people and just start fucking their shit up. What's funny about this Titan is it's intimidating and hilarious at the same time because it does the most stupid run I've ever seen. What's awesome though is even though this thing's goofy as hell, it gives us an excuse to have another action scene where our two soldiers are able to take this thing out in a really, really sweet manner. This guy literally jumps off the horse and like skids across the ground and cuts its Achilles tendon. It's friggin' intense. So after taking this Titan out, some of the soldiers see another one coming up right behind them and they think it's just another one just like that. But no, this is actually the first appearance of the female Titan, who's apparently very similar to Eren in that it's a human that can transform into a Titan. And like Eren, this one is incredibly intelligent and doesn't even take the time to eat these guys. It pretty much just fucks them up outright. And it's very intelligent, like I said, like they actually try to attack her neck, and she's able to just block it and knock this dude out completely and just like toss him onto the ground. It's a really, really intense scene. And you can definitely tell there's something not quite right about this Titan because she actually has a chance to kill Armin outright. But all she does is actually like stop right in front of him, remove his hood just to see who he is, and then immediately starts making her way into another direction. And this is just another great hint to show maybe there's something weird about these humans that can turn into Titans. And I'm pretty sure I know who this Titan is, since they're already hinting that it's going to be like Eren who can turn into a Titan. From the appearance of this female alone, just from the nose and the hair, I'm pretty sure that this female Titan is Annie. But until we actually have this as an official confirmation, I'm just going to refer to this as the female Titan from now on. So, what follows is another great scene where Armin is joined by John and Reiner Braun, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do about this female Titan, and they make this big theory that it's probably going to be going after Eren, and they have to do whatever they can to stop it. So what follows is another awesome action scene, and this is a weird comparison, but this is what I got from it. From what I can gather, this scene reminded me a lot of the attack scene from The Empire Strikes Back on Hoth, where they're tying up the AT-ATs with the cables around their legs, and trying to knock them over so they can attack him. That's what I'm getting from it, and that's only because there's a scene where Armin gets knocked off his horse, and then he starts going batshit crazy, and then John tries to save him, and he starts using his 3D maneuver gear and flying around this female Titan constantly, and then he gets stuck, and he keeps just flying around her, and he's like, oh shit, I'm about to be screwed here. And then finally Reiner comes in to save him. That is until the freaking female Titan grabs him in mid-jump, and this scene really caught me off guard at first, because it looks like Reiner just immediately got killed. Essentially, the scene takes place, you see the female Titan just squeeze Reiner, and all this blood just oozes out from her hands, and then suddenly Reiner just explodes from her hand, cutting it up, and is able to save Armin and John, and then they start to run away. They're like, fuck it, we need to gather our shit and figure out what we're going to do here. And this is where the episode comes to a very awesome close. Just really, really great stuff in this episode. The animation was definitely the showcase this week. Every single time there was an action scene, it was absolutely on point. Like I said, I really loved the sense of speed that they gave to the Titans. In particular, that first scene where Sasha was being chased by that one that was running on all fours. That whole scene was just, to me, horrifying. I like the fact that as the series is going on, we're also being introduced to a few different Titan types. Like this one we had the Berserker types that I'm going to call them. Even though they run really goofy-like and everything, it's just crazy to see them. And another thing that sucks about the female Titan showing up is that she brought in tow like a ton of other Titans. So like half of the recon squad has already been like decimated completely. So this was a pretty bleak episode, but it's also a really interesting one because we're finally starting to see what these Titans can really do and why people are so scared of them in the first place, and why, if you're planning on venturing out, you need a horse. So without a question, for me, this was a 10 out of 10 episode. The best action episode I've seen, obviously, since episode 13. Just really, really awesome. I can't wait to see where it's going to pick up next week, because it looks like the female Titan is still going to be going crazy and possibly still looking for Eren. So we know that eventually there's going to be the confrontation between Eren and this female Titan, and I can only imagine how great it's going to be to see those type of Titans fight against each other. So there it is, 10 out of 10 from me. But how did you guys feel about this week's episode of Attack on Titan? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you have a favorite scene? You can let me know about it with your comments below. And remember guys, you know the drill. Make sure and give this video a thumbs up. It's one of the best ways to support our videos. And make sure and check out some of our other ones. I just did a review on the most awkward slice of life show ever, Watamote. Make sure and check it out. This is episode 4. Really, really good, really, really funny. And make sure and thumbs up and subscribe. I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.